Hey everybody, welcome to Hockey SKATEDOWN. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. If you want to join our hockey team, it's free. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell to all. Thank you all so much, and let's get started. Frank Saravelli came out and mentioned a very interesting name last night, and then as the night went on, you heard another three names that are on the trade block from the Vegas Golden Knights. First, you heard Max Pacioretty's name out there. Then, as the night went on, you heard Fleury's name on the trade block. You heard Marchessault, and then you heard Martinez. So, in this video, I want to talk about them, talk about teams that may be interested in looking to trade for them, as they have a lot of cap space and they can't afford them. So, this comes on what Frank Saravelli said. You know, the Knights are doing this to make cap room, and this would go a long way in terms of getting some of that cap flexibility and enabling them to take a run at some good unsigned UFAs like Hoffman or Haula. So, you know, they don't have a lot of cap space. They have zero cap space right now, what Cap Friendly shows. If they're looking to move any of these guys and try to, you know, take that full salary off their books, they're going to have to attach something. So this year they have an extra second-round pick. Next year they have an extra third and fifth-round pick. They have a lot of good prospects in their system, most notably Krebs and Haig, that some teams may look at to try to attach to this if they could take that full cap space on that they have. So looking at the players that I mentioned, Pacioretty, he's got 3 years left at $7 million each year. He's 32 years old. And this past year, he played in 71 games, 32 goals, 34 assists, 66 points. So you know what you're getting with Pacioretty. He's a great player. He could score up to 30 goals. The only thing is he's getting older. He's 32 years old. He's got 3 years left. So you got to see what happens with this deal. Is the Knights going to move him with his full $7 million? It's going to be very limited teams that can afford that. Are they going to eat some of his salary to move him? So it's just a very dicey situation with Pacioretty, and the most notable team that a lot of people are talking about is the Montreal Canadiens. You know, they want to add some scoring help, but the thing is that they're tied up against the cap, and it's going to create a lot of moves that Bergevin's going to have to do to bring him in. So that's why I don't think it's going to happen. But it's interesting to think about. You know, with the condensed schedule this upcoming year, whenever it's announced. We're going to need it's going to be limited amount of games where if you bring in a player who's familiar with some of the players in your team and the system they played, it may be an easier transition to get him in and playing well with whoever's on the roster. So I can see it in regards to it that way, but if the Knights eat up a lot of his salary to move him to the Canadiens, if Canadiens can try to work out a deal where they can move some players out and bring him in, be a very curious situation to see what happens with that. You know, looking on social media, you see a lot of fans that want it to happen. You see a lot of fans that don't want it to happen. So it's interesting, but I think Bergevin did a great job this past offseason with acquiring what he did with the cap space that he had. So I like what Montreal looks like heading into this season. Looking at Alec Martinez. Now, he may be the easiest one to move out of these four. You know, he's a UFA at year's end. He's got a $4 million cap hit. 33 years old. This past year, he played in 51 games between the Kings and the Knights. He had 3 goals, 13 assists, 16 points. So you know what you're getting with Martinez. He's a very serviceable defenseman. He's played years in the NHL, won Stanley Cups. He's got playoff experience. So he's going to be a depth defenseman for any team, but he can still play and be a serviceable piece if anybody's looking for help on the back end. So he's definitely going to be the easiest one to move, and I think he's going to be the first one off. Fleury. Now, he's going to be a tough trade. $7 million left for 2 years. $7 million cap hit for 2 years left, and he's 36 years old. Now, with Fleury, you heard his name mentioned a lot around the trade deadline that just passed, and, you know, when free agency opened, there was rumors of him being moved, but then you heard rumors of them holding on to him and having a good 1-2 punch in that for the remainder of the year, for the start of the year. In case one goes down, you have one to help out, so he's going to be tough to move. You're going to have to attach a lot to try to move him with his full contract, but the Knights are going to have to definitely bite some of his salary to move him, as he's 36 years old and still got some term left. So, interesting situation there. And Jonathan Marchessault, and I think he's the most interesting because I really hope the Devils get him. I really do. He's got 4 years left at $5 million per year. He's 29 years old, so close to 30, but, you know, when his contract runs out, he'll be 33, so it's still good to have him around that time. Left wing, right wing, he's very versatile. This past year, he played in 66 games. He had 22 goals, 25 assists, 47 points. Last year, he played in a full calendar year, 82 games, 25 goals, 34 assists, 59 points. And in 17-18, he played in 77 games, 27 goals, 48 assists, 75 points. So I believe that's his career high too. So with him, you know what you're getting. Definitely getting a consistent 20-goal scorer. You're getting a hounding player, an aggressive player. He plays in all situations. This guy's just a great player. So, with the whole uncertainty with Palmieri, with the whole uncertainty with Gusev, they got 1 year left on their deals, and there's a lot of talk about them. If they're not going to get signed, they may test free agency. They may want too much, and Fitzgerald may not want to pay them that. So they may be trade options where the Devils can move them. But this situation, if you get Marchessault now, at least if you look that route with those players, you have a backup plan to help with their performance this year. He can definitely score and help the team out. He would look great with either Hischier or Hughes. So he'd be an interesting option if the Devils are looking to go that route. Now, I'm not really that interested in Pacioretty. I think he's still a hell of a player, but 3 years left at $7 million, it's a lot. So, it's just very interesting to think of. I like Marchessault better. I think with 4 years left at $5 million, it's more manageable. I like it the way he plays. He's a very good player in the playoffs, too. This past year, he had 10 points in 20 games. The year before, he had 6 points in 7 games. And the year before that, when they had that good run, he had 21 points in 20 games. So that's another bonus to have if you're looking to acquire him. So these are 4 very big names off the Knights roster, and they're on the trade block now for any teams to grab. Now, what teams may be interested? The Devils, the Kings, the Predators. The Predators are still out there looking to add some players. There have been rumors mentioned with them and Hoffman. But if they're looking to go the trade route, they can definitely afford it with their cap space. The Senators, be on the lookout for them. They may want to add another winger to play with their players. The Red Wings, Stevie Y said he wants to make a trade if he can to acquire some picks, take on a bad contract if he can to help them out, gain an asset, look for them to make a move. And the Jackets. The Jackets, if they can't get anybody in free agency, they still have to work out their whole situation with Dubois. But they keep saying they want to add some scoring help, so maybe this is a way they go if they can't land one of those free agents left. So definitely keep an eye on the Golden Knights as we're entering this season that still hasn't been officially announced. But definitely keep your eye on them if they're looking to make some cap room, and there's going to be some movement being made. So if the season's coming up, you're going to hear a lot of ramp up of trade talk, signings that happen very quick. So definitely keep your eye on the situation. If anything happens, I'll do another video on it. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Smash that like button. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to the Hockey Skate Down. Join our hockey team. Have a great rest of the night. Have a great day tomorrow. Take it easy.